I'm here at the Queensland Games Festival, and for the first time I'm not actually presenting a game, so I thought I'd use the chance with the whole base code channel to check out some of the games that are being created here in Queensland and make a little bit of a vlog. Okay.
G'day, I'm Garth from Roadside Games. Looking at my game Chunk. It's a third-person action-adventure game. It's a little bit Zelda, or it's a little bit Darksiders. Got a claymation art style inspired by the Trapdoor and Wallace and Gromit. It's being built in Unreal Engine 5. We've been working on it for about a year.
Cool. So if you were to give one piece of advice to people wanting to make games themselves, what would it be?
If I had one piece of advice to give, I would say try and find somebody who can go on the journey with you. Find somebody who has complementary skills to your own, because if you've got two people working together, you're going to be much more motivated and more accountable. And I think you'll get a lot further if you can find somebody to build a game with.
Cool, yeah, so you were saying it was an Unreal Engine game?
Yeah, built in Unreal Engine 5.
Cool, and if people wanted to get your game, where can they go to find it?
You can jump on Steam, wishlist Chunk.
Awesome, thanks so much. Tell us a quick elevator pitch for your game.
So Tempopo is a musical puzzle game about placing instructions to command Tempopo to collect musical flowers. You take the flowers to your garden where you can create a song by arranging them in a musical sequence.
Awesome. So if you guys had one piece of advice for people wanting to make games, what would it be?
Yeah, start making something. It's never been easier to pick up the tools. Godot, Unity, Unreal, are all free to download and start using. Just start trying it out.
There's also a lot of communities online that you can join for free in Discord and such, and like you can get to know a lot of other game developers, people making games and hobby, and like there are a lot of wonderful people who are willing to help you make games. So just make games.
Cool.
Also, watch GMTK.
Great advice. Cool. So what engine did you guys use?
So Tempopo is made in Unity.
Cool. Very cool. If people wanted to find Tempopo, what would be the best place to get them?
So you can check out everything at tempopogames.com. Or yeah, you can find us on Steam or Xbox and Switch on the eShops.
Awesome.
Hiya. My name's Martin Binfield. I'm the director of Abandoned Sheep, and we're making Schrodingers Cat Burglar.
Awesome. Could you elevate a bit to your game for us, Martin?
Certainly can. It's a quantum heist adventure puzzle game where you play a cat who can be in two places at once, and you have to obey the uncertainty principle. So if you're observed in one place, you can't exist in the other. So you can get up to all sorts of cat-based tomfoolery.
Awesome. So the game's really well built, really well polished. If you were going to give some advice to somebody wanting to make a game yourself, what would it be?
Yeah, my advice if you're going to make a game is to pick something small, but something that you're really passionate about. It might take a little while to find out what that is, but you just got to keep experimenting and find what's the right thing, and then just get stuck in there and make it happen essentially, and let it grow over time. And you'll just keep thinking of things to add to it.
Awesome. What engine did you use for your game, Martin?
We're running in Unity 2022. We're running in URP. It's a really good fun engine.
Cool. If people wanted to get your game, where should they go?
You can find us on Steam. So if you just go to Steam and search for Schrodingers Cat Burglar, you can go to our website, schrodingerscatburglar.com or abandonedsheep.com. And if you search for Abandoned Sheep or Schrodingers Cat Burglar online, you'll find us on Blue Sky and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all sorts.
Very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, your game has a demo available too, right?
Yes, it has. If you go to Steam, you can download the demo right now and play through a big chunk of the game full of really interesting puzzles.
Awesome. Thanks, Martin.
No worries.
Brendan, I'm from Wombat Brawler. We're all across Australia, but we're working on this game Cast and Chill.
Awesome. Can you give us the elevator pitch for your game?
It's a cozy idle fishing is the subtitle, and basically, you're just chilling out. Like there's really sweet atmospherics, and you just catch bigger and bigger fish. And you've got your little pup place. It's just chilling.
I feel like it's a really good name. It tastes like what it says on the can. That's really good. Yeah.
A lot of great comments about the aesthetics. Everyone loves it. It's kind of like a pixel art renaissance or whatever.
I love the art style and I love the vibe. If you had a little bit of advice for anybody wanting to make games themselves, what would it be?
I would advise you to ideally have it as a side project just to begin with, like, because it's not always, it's a big risk to get straight into games. But if you're a programmer, if you have a side gig of working in a game, you're entitled. That's fine. Same thing with design and art. If you have a main job for your income, that way you're not risking everything and eating noodles for 2 years for nothing, you know? So,
Yeah, excellent. So the game is beautiful. I bet a lot of people are wondering what you use to make it.
Unity.
Unity is the engine?
Unity for a long time.
Yep.
And that's basically just some custom tools.
Unity 2D?
I mean, yes, it's true.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so the last question for the audience would be, where can they find your game if they want to get hold of it or wishlist it? Or
On Steam.
Yep.
Wishlist it, and you're gonna quit because it's out on Tuesday.
Wow, so soon.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
I might even jump on and play it. It looks fantastic.
Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. Thanks for the interview.
Hello, I'm Lewis. I'm the producer and the programmer on Dungeon Pizza.
Awesome, Lewis. Can you give us an elevator pitch for your game?
Yeah, Dungeon Pizza kind of pitches itself. You've opened a pizzeria in a dungeon for some reason. Adventurers come down on their dungeon runs. They don't have to come up to the surface anymore. They can just get takeaway. It's perfect.
Nice. So if you had any advice for people wanting to make games themselves, what would it be?
Yeah, my advice is always that it's a marathon and not a sprint. So pace yourself and make games in a way. Make sure you're making games, but make sure you're keeping making games.
Awesome, cool. So what engine have you guys used and what's interesting about your development process?
Yeah, so this is in Unity. I'm engine agnostic. We landed on Unity this time because I think it would be faster for a project like this. We were going to keep a 6-week time span, and of course it's ballooned. We're taking an approach where every sprint informs the next sprint. So it's been interesting watching every playtest kind of inform what we do literally next week.
Awesome. If people want to find your game, Lewis, where can they go?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm posting about the game. Lewis Van Dyke on Blue Sky.
You're also streaming? What's
Yes,
that handle?
I'm streaming on Twitch. That's Lewis_VD. LOUIS_VD.
Cool. And the game, is it available for wishlist?
We have a mailing list. I can give you the link. Yeah, follow us on the mailing list if you want to get notified when the game becomes playable.
Is there a website for that mailing list?
There is, yeah.
What is it?
I gotta give you the QR.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry about that.
So this is Carman Sandiego. It's based visually on the animation from Netflix, and we made it in conjunction with Netflix, but it's mostly based on the original 80s video game of Carman Sandiego. It's educational, it's about puzzle solving and collecting information so that you can track down the thieves while they're spread across the world and stop the evil file agents from taking over.
Okay, awesome. So actually, you've got a huge amount of experience in it, so I'm very interested to ask you this question. What advice would you have for people wanting to make computer games?
I would say be passionate, try and focus on what it is you're good at and getting better at that one thing. That's always very important. If you're an artist, work on your portfolio. That's going to be your biggest calling card, the most important thing that you have to offer.
So specialize and have a strong portfolio.
Yeah, for artists. Speaking as an artist, that's the best advice that I can give. And learn how to collaborate in a team, because this was a project that was made with over 35, 40 people on a team over the course of a year or two. So it's a big project, and you want to be able to work with people.
Yep. So what engine was used for this project?
So we worked on Unreal Engine for this. It was a great engine to create a lot of the puzzles and the 3D environments. It's really easy to use for artists as well.
Yeah, awesome. So how can people find your game?
So it's available on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, you can just download it for free. Otherwise, it's on pretty much every console. It's on PS5, it's on Switch. You can get it on Steam.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Alex, what's the elevator pitch for your game?
Elevator pitch. This is like Crash Bandicoot but on rollerblades.
Nice.
Roller skates, damn it. It's Crash Bandicoot on roller skates.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like how snappy that is, man. That's really concise. What advice would you give for anybody wanting to make a game?
You just gotta do it. Just jump in and just make something small and just like, don't plan out like a big thing. Just like try and just make the smallest thing possible and just get going with that.
Hell yeah. And how can people find your game?
You can find me by following Barcelonium on Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, or wishlisting later Skater on Steam.
Excellent,
And
thanks.
playing the demo.
Great. What's the elevator pitch for your game?
So our game is Candy Crawler. In Candy Crawler, you manage a pastry shop, and to get ingredients for your pastry shop, you have to go into candy-themed dungeons to gather ingredients.
Cool. And what would your one piece of advice be for a person trying to make a game?
I would definitely advise to start with something that's small scope. So my background is with mobile games, and that's how I got into it. Making small experiences, keeping it nice and small, and constantly releasing games. That's really what helped me kind of get that experience of releasing a game, which I think is one of the most valuable skills to have.
Awesome. Thanks so much. What engine is your game made in?
This one is made in Godot.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks for it. So what's the elevator pitch for your game?
It is like open world rhythm racing with Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And if you were going to give one piece of advice to a person wanting to make games, what would it be?
Just start, and if you're learning code especially, make sure it's relevant to something you're interested in. Like, don't just copy a tutorial because you'll forget it later.
Yeah.
Just, like, adapt the tutorial for your specific project, because then you're passionate about it, so you actually remember what it is.
Yeah, nice. And what engine's your game made in?
Just Unity.
Unity.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm the lead developer for Apothecary of City X. It's a game where you run a cozy apothecary in a dark dystopian city. It's got card combat, it's got weirdos, lovable weirdos, text-based sort of narrative, and sort of management sim. You're running your own medicine shops.
Cool. And if you were to give any advice to somebody wanting to make games, what would it be?
I would say just make them, even if it's like the tiniest little thing. Like, it's the best way to learn, at least for me. Like, my background is in game design, but I've always wanted to learn programming. So by making this game, I learned so much more than in the past 10 years of trying to learn programming through official school sort of thing. So just make stuff, and it'll just get better and better. Yeah.
Awesome. And how can people find your game?
You can find it on Steam. It recently announced during Next Fest, and please wishlist it. My dog is very excited.
I'm Nathan Hone. I make Bravest Coconut.
Nice, Nathan. So can you give us the elevator pitch for your game?
Bravest Coconut combines for your little cat on a big adventure. It's combining classic Zelda style exploration and combat with Monkey Island, Dance Tentacle, retro point-click adventure puzzles. So it's story-driven puzzles with adventuring and combat.
Very, very cool. So what advice would you give for anybody wanting to make a game?
If you're brand new to things, give the Godot engine a try. It's free, it's tiny, and it's super easy to pick up.
Hell yeah. That answers the question. What engine are you working in?
Godot engine.
Cool. And so if people want to find your game, what's the best way to get it?
At the moment, you can wishlist it on Steam. There'll be a demo out hopefully soon.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
And Lone Pine is a game about being in a fictional national park of Lone Pine. Basically, there's rumors that there are cryptids in the area, and our protagonist, Izzy, she is trying to capture hard evidence, get some photos of these cryptids and prove that they're real. So that's what our game is. And advice for people that are trying to get into game development. If possible, try to find a really good team. Game development is a really collaborative process, and we've been having an amazing time building Lone Pine. So, yeah.
Cool. So, just some other random questions, what engine's your game made in?
So, Lone Pine's made in Godot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
it looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Who made the art?
So it is our illustrator Lara. So
Yep.
she designs it all and makes it all in Procreate.
Yep.
And then we take it into and rig and animate everything in Spine.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. All right, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Cool.
This is Momento. In Memento, you journey through life, the object you choose to keep influences the life you lead. The players will journey room to room, moment to moment, making choices about what items have meaning for them, and based off those choices, they'll go down a branching narrative.
Cool. So would you, what advice would you have for anybody wanting to make games themselves?
Just start making games. Yeah, make small games, make as many as you can, go on YouTube, learn, just try. It's not as hard as it sounds.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Each game you get better, better and better and better. Yeah.
Very cool. So what engine did you use to make your game?
This one's made in Unity. Yeah, it's the engine I learned at uni and used it essentially.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so then, if people wanted to find your game, where should they go?
You can look on Steam, that's where we're available, or you can type in Play Momento on Google.
Excellent. And so what would you like them to do? Wishlist, for instance?
Yeah, wishlist. Or if they're interested in following the development, we have a mailing list. You can go to our website and sign up, and you'll get a monthly newsletter, which will be breakdowns of what we did this month and where the game's going and what's changed.
Yep.
If you want more of it behind the scenes inside of the creation.
Very cool. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Martin. I'm from Spork Tank and I'm developing Rita.
Awesome, Martin. Can you give us an elevator pitch for your game?
Rita is a cozy adventure game where you play as a little chicklet. You solve word-based puzzles in the newspaper and unlock elements in the world. Rita is based on my grandmother. Her middle name was Rita, and the relationship explores a grandchild with a grandparent and all the stories and the fun and the love that you share.
That's awesome. If you had any advice for people wanting to make games themselves, what would it be?
Just make and fail. Keep making and fail. This is probably my 1000th attempt, so just keep trying.
Yeah, awesome. So what have you used to make your game?
I do it in Godot or Godot or Godot or whatever you want to say it. Open source engine that's getting quite popular.
Cool. And if people wanted to find your game, where should they go?
Please wishlist on Steam. Coming out end of the year, start of next year.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Niosis. I'm working on Key Fairy. Key Fairy is a pacifist bullet hell. You play as a little fairy in a big spooky whimsical forest. There are terrible monsters that want to eat you, but you'll make friends with them.
Awesome. So yeah, this got community choice last year. Congratulations on that. It's a really well-made game. What advice would you have for people wanting to make games themselves?
I would say to definitely start small. The getting to the end is the most fulfilling part. Once you do, it's just, it fills you with a love for it, and you learn how to make beautiful things in a way that you're able to.
Absolutely, and your game really is beautiful. Can you tell us a bit about the technology that you used to make the game? What engine? What's the inspiration behind the art?
Yeah, so we're using Unity for this game. The art is all hand illustrated, so we're using just ink on paper. A lot of it is like gel pens or just like ordinary pens I have around, and the art in my sketchbook. And then we are taking photos with my phone or putting it into a scanner, scanning the art, stripping it out and editing it, and just throwing it straight in.
That's fascinating. That's really, really cool. If people wanted to get your game or learn about you or your studio, where can they go?
Absolutely go to Steam. Currently we have a demo up. It is good, long and fun. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Discord. Look for us and you'll probably find us.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm Jackson from Lobster Games, and it's our little game, Rodent Rollers. Yeah, it's a little racing game. You're a little Zorb, and you just kind of do little snowboardy tricks all up the tubes and stuff and downhills.
Looks a bit like Super Monkey Ball, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. Not really the same controls, but that's the feel of like zipping around.
Very cool. So if you had one thing that you could give to people as advice for how to make a game, what would it be?
Just kind of do it, just kind of get in there and start doing stuff. We've been doing lots of game jams and stuff, and so the way we keeping like the passion for control and stuff like that, like take breaks and all that. Do game jams, like little things like that, and keep trying to make that.
So if people want to play your game or learn more about it, where can they go?
They can go to our can I hold that up?
No, that's fine. I'll put something on screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we have a little QR code that's our itch, and we have a few other little social medias that's all plugged in there. So.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm from Odyssey Studios, and I'm the lead programmer and audio engineer there.
Awesome. So you're making Untitled Hand Game, the Titled Edition. Can you give us an elevator pitch for what the game is?
Yes, so the game it's very simple. It's basically you have a hand and you have a number of other hands that want things. You have a bunch of things that you have to give to those hands, and that's basically the premise of the whole thing. So each level then adds on more and more silly little effects and challenges, but effectively the whole game is just handing things to things.
Very cool. So if people wanted to make games, what advice would you have for them?
Stick with it, definitely. Find something that you're passionate about, something that you really want to make, and just stick with it. I work full time, so I can only do this in my spare time, but all my spare time I invest in projects like this, purely because I believe in it and I believe in my team and myself.
Fantastic advice. So what technology are you using to make your game?
We make the game in Unity, and we use tools like Affinity Studio, Pro Tools, and even Audacity as well.
Nice. If people want to get your game or they want to learn more about it, where can they go?
It's available on the 1st of July on Steam, but it's available to wishlist now, and there's a demo uploaded at the moment as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm one of the developers on Isopod. Isopod's a platformer adventure game where you play as a roly-poly beating up and driving out the invasive capitalist fire ant conglomerate.
Awesome. If you had any advice for people wanting to make games like yours, what would it be?
Don't start with games like ours. Make them smaller first and build your way up.
Awesome advice. Really, really good. What tech have you used to get to where you're at?
Isopod's made with Unreal Engine 5. Isopod's made with Unreal Engine 5 and using a lot of cool procedural animation tech in the bug animations.
Yeah, it looks really, really smooth and fluent. I can't believe how well the Isopod handles. It's a really great game. If people want to try this for themselves and play your game or like to download it or wishlist it, where can they go?
Isopod can be wishlisted on Steam now, and it comes out in 4 months on the 21st of October.
Guys, that was another amazing Queensland Games Festival. I can't believe the amount of amazing games getting created there. Go and make sure that you drop wish lists and follow the games that you really liked. If you loved any of the games that were standout games, I'd love to reach out to some of the developers and do interviews. So let me know which ones you'd like in the comments. A recurring theme there seemed to be like, if you like making games, just get out there and do it. Just start something, create something, and that seems to be what a lot of the people who we spoke to today have done. So yeah, this has been Base Code with the devlog. Thank you for following along. Give us a follow on Twitch if you're into that, and a sub here on YouTube goes a really long way. So thanks for following along, and thank you to everybody who took the time out to talk about their games today.